race fans, this is a replay, but to be able to watch the finest vintage racing in America live, download the app or scan the QR code and subscribe. Available on both Android and iOS, this is the only place to watch the 2021 season of SVR8 live with over 10 hours of coverage each and every weekend. Our unique live stream coverage will bring you all the action from each group, as well as live timing, results and news from the biggest collection of vintage races in the USA. Subscriptions for the race weekend are just $9.99 per weekend or $59.99 for the season. To subscribe, download the SVR8 app or scan the QR code now and be part of the future of American vintage racing with SVR8. Now, the men who've got this Brainerd circuit dialed in are the Canadians, no question about it, including this man, Matt Clark. You've heard of Jim Clark? Well, forget him. He's old hat. This is the new future right here from Canada. Matt Clark, winner yesterday. What about today?
I mean, I think we're feeling strong for today. You know, we got the job done yesterday in race 2, and we have some really good pace, so we're going to bring it to everyone else and try to, get that championship lead.
I met you at the beginning of the season, and you had some high aspirations, but are you happy? I mean, as far as I can work out, I know there's some still, questions of certain races, but you're effectively leading the championship.
Yeah, yes, sir. No, 100%. The Ganello Racing team's done an amazing job, and as a new team and a new driver coming into the series, I think we've really nailed it. So, we want to take this momentum and carry it forward and dominate the last 2 rounds in Virginia and Coda.
Go Canada, eh? Just like Jack Villeneuve, he's wearing the spectacles. He became a world champion. There's no question that Matt Clark's on his way. Another man certainly on his way and had a great weekend so far. And another Canadian, Nico Christodoulou. These two went head to toe, literally wheel to wheel throughout most of yesterday. I think we're going to see it again because they start on the front row. Then there's Matt Christensen. He's dropped a little bit in the points, but don't count him out. He needs a good race right now. And if the number 5 will come through for Jay Howard Development Racing, we could see him at the sharp end. Watch for him at the start of this race. Little further down, we're looking down now at the 39 of Bryson Morris. I had a chat with him yesterday and I got it all wrong, so I'll have a proper chat with him this time. I don't know, do you know your history? I've spoken to your father, but welcome. You're a busy lad this year. I mean, you're doing formula racing with the Lucas Oil, but you're also here. How are you enjoying the two?
Yeah, it's definitely a difference, but this one, it has a little more grip, but the other one's a lot of drafting and close racing, so they have their pluses and minuses.
Are you going to try to keep doing both, or are you going to stick with one?
We're looking at doing both, but we'll see.
Well, we're happy to have you. Best of luck today. Great job so far. Watch out for the number 39. Finally, want to show you Chloe Chambers. She had a little bit of bad luck yesterday, but she's going to turn it all around. She is one of our future star racing stars in the number 8 from New York. She's being looked after by Al Unser Jr. He's been in her corner. We're expecting big things. Top 10 from Chloe. That's it. Thumbs up. Chloe says top 10. I say top 10. Let's go racing.
Thanks, Jonathan, as the cars just now coming to life down on the pit lane as we're getting ready to get started with the finale of the weekend for the F4 US Championship powered by Honda. We've got 24 cars on the starting grid for this race, as one driver has been asked to take a seat on the sidelines after an incident in yesterday's racing that our race director, Scott Goodyear, thought was a little excessive. So Chase Gardner in the 33 car for Crosslink Kiwi will not be taking part. We also have 3 drivers who will be starting from the pit lane after the field goes by because of incidents that they were deemed to have caused collisions on the racetrack. And that is Jason Alder in the 77, who is currently 4th in the points. Jason, a 2-time winner on the season already. He'll be starting from the pit lane. Oscar Haffar in the number 1 car will be starting from the pit lane, as will the 25 of Joseph Danelli, as those 3 drivers asked to start from the pit lane due to causing a collision in race number 11 yesterday. So this is the finale of the weekend for the F4 U.S. Championship drivers, and it's been an eventful one. Seated alongside me here is our guest commentator, Logan Cuson, who just climbed out of his TJ Speed Motorsports car after a grueling race where you were in the thick of the battle pretty much all race long. Good driving on your part, my friend.
And thank you very much. It's an exciting race.
Yeah, tell us a little. You came up through the F4 series. Tell us a little bit about the differences between this F4 car and the Formula Regional Americas car that you're driving right now.
There's a lot of difference between the two. The F4s, they don't have the downforce or the horsepower, no turbocharger on these, same engine, no turbo. So it really is a big jump coming from a car that has all that, you really get overwhelmed sometimes when you first sit in an FR car.
Exactly. Let's introduce the starting grid of the remaining drivers. We've already talked about the 3 drivers who will be starting from the pit lane. In the 21st starting position is the number 23 of Artie Flores out of Leon, Mexico. He rides for Ganella Racing. In row 10 on the outside, car number 4, Seth Foley from Elk Ridge, Maryland for Jay Howard Driver Development. Next to him, the number 2 of Jake Bonilla, who had kind of a scary crash yesterday. Jake's fine. The car's been repaired. He'll be in the field out of San Antonio, Texas, also for Jensen Global Advisors. Jonathan got a thumbs up from Chloe Chambers on the grid. She's one of the 2 recipients of the PMH Powering Diversity Scholarship. Chloe out of Monroe, New York for Future Star Racing. She's in car number 8. A driver making his first start with us this weekend, the number 17 of Maxwell Jameson out of Houston, Texas for D-Force Racing. Outside of row 8, the other scholarship recipient, Emily Linscott from Langdon Hills, Great Britain for Crosslink Kiwi. She's in car number 99. Next to Emily, the 74 of Lucas Mann from Oakville, Ontario, Canada. He drives for Momentum Motorsports. In row 7 on the outside, car 3 is Chase Highland out of Cherry Hills Village, Colorado for Jay Howard Driver Development. Next to him, the number 20 of the Swede, Victor Andersson from Linköping, Sweden for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. That's car number 20. One of our drivers from Quebec on the outside of row 6, the 98 of Lucas Saint-Jean out of Lorraine, Quebec, Canada in the new iCar Canada Racing team. Next to him from the 03 car of Hayden Bowlesby from Folsom, Louisiana. Hayden drives for the Alliance Racing team. In row 5 on the outside, car 66 is Ryan Sheehan from Horseshoe Bay, Texas for Crosslink Kiwi, and his teammate next to him, the 76 of Gabriel Fonseca from Sao Paulo, Brazil. In row 4, the other iCar Canada Racing driver from Quebec, the 36 of Justin Arsenault, who finished 3rd on the box in the first race of the weekend from Marin Heights, Canada. Next to him will be the 71 of Rodrigo Gutierrez, who was our expert commentator in the most recent race. The FR race just concluded from Santa Cruz, Bolivia for DC Autosport. The points leader is next, starting outside of row 3. That is Noel Leon. Noel from Monterrey, Mexico for D-Force Racing. He'll start alongside car number 6. That's Bijoy Garge. Bijoy from Atherton, California for Jay Howard Driver Development. Car number 4 will start on the starting 4th, should we say, on the outside of row 2. The driver who finished 3rd yesterday, the 39 of Bryson Morris out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee from Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. Next to him, the number 5 of Matt Christensen from Orlando, Florida for Jay Howard Driver Development. In row number 2, we've got row number 1 starting on the outside of row number 1, the driver who finished 2nd yesterday, the 22 of Nico Christodoulou from Maple, Ontario, Canada for Velocity Racing Development, and the number 1 driver who finished on the top of the box yesterday, car 26, Matt Clark out of Campbellville, Ontario, Canada for Ganella Racing. Mac notching his 4th win on the season, looking for number 5 today, starting from the pole. As the field exits turn 13 and comes under the attention of the starter, the 3 drivers starting from the pit lane, working their way onto the field as Matt Clark and Nico Christodoulou bring the field along onto the front straightaway. Under the attention of the starter, there's the green. Looks like we're away. Matt Clark getting a good jump. Christodoulou dives right inside. There's Matt Christensen slotting into 3rd spot with Bijoy Garge right behind him as they go through that banked turn number 1 on their way to turn 2. Side by side, Matt Clark and Nico Christodoulou. Christodoulou looking for an opportunity. Clark guarding the inside. Christodoulou's going to try to go around the outside as we've got a spinner in the background. I believe that's Chloe Chambers, but she kept it on got it back on the pavement. Good job, Chloe. No, there's Chloe. It was somebody else. I apologize. Similar livery on those two cars. But the field continues to race. We're going to stay green right now. Down into turn number 4, side-by-side racing at the front. Matt Clark, Nico Christodoulou through turn number 5. Clark with a nose ahead. Now Christodoulou stuffs it down inside at turn 6. They're still side-by-side as they work their way down toward turn 7 and that long cloverleaf turn. Christodoulou on the inside, Clark on the outside with a nose ahead. Here they are into that turn. Bijoy Garge has moved up into 3rd spot. They're almost interlocking wheels as they go through the cloverleaf. Through turn number 7, coming back onto the pit straightaway. Clark with the advantage, but Christodoulou looking for any way around. Christodoulou wants his 2nd win on the season as he tries to go outside. Now inside, he sold the dummy to Matt Clark at turn 12 and got the pass done. Nico Christodoulou up into the lead right now, side by side behind between Christensen and Bijoy Garge. As Christensen has taken over 3rd spot, Garge shuffled back to 5th as coming up behind him is Rodrigo Gutierrez. Jonathan, I've got to catch my breath.
I'm going to say, yeah.
What a first lap.
Well, I'm glad to say I predicted that the two Canadians would go at it because that's exactly what's happening. But look at this behind as they go into turn 2. It's almost 3 wide. Something's going to happen at 3. They're going to sort themselves out quickly. I wouldn't want to be the stewards in this position. Here they come.
Clark and Christodoulou side by side, then Matt Christensen, and right behind him, Rodrigo Gutierrez, the Bolivian. Right behind him, Noel Leon, as the car gets forced wide off into the grass at the exit of turn 4.
Keeps his foot in.
But he keeps his foot in it, and he's back on track. No problems at the moment. Has a little brake lock up as they get into turn 5, and then come back down in front of our commentary position. Clark back in the lead with Christodoulou 2nd. Then it is Matt Christensen in the 3rd spot, a little further back.
Radio silence from Logan Couson. He can't get a word in edgeways. There's too much happening. Logan, I bet you wish your races were as good as this.
You have no idea. These guys are crazy.
Yeah, the second race.
That's where you started.
Yeah, the second race yesterday was a dandy, and this one is shaping up to be just the same. Scott Goodyear had a good talking to them this morning to remind them to mind the gap, to be situationally aware of the drivers around them. And so far, they're getting it done. Christodoulou once again dives to the inside at turn 12 and retakes the lead. But Matt Clark stays right on his gearbox as those two appear to be the early class as they've pulled away from Matt Christensen with Rodrigo Gutierrez right behind them. Then Noel Leon, then Hayden Bowlesby, who I misidentified being with the Alliance Racing Crew. He's now with BRD, my apologies. Bijoy Garge shuffled back to 7th after running 3rd. Gabriel Fonseca, Justin Arsenault, and Chase Highland, your top 10. But this battle at the front is a dandy as they are still side by side.
Look at this.
Around the outside goes Clark. Christodoulou to the inside, a little bit of a wiggle under the brakes as Christodoulou right on the edge. Clark stays strong on the outside and takes the position. Christodoulou's going to try to go the long way around at turn 4, but he can't get that done. Clark able to hang on to that spot. Man, this is great racing.
That's Canadian race car driving right there.
I was about to say, well, have you got any more of these to come over the border? Because we'll take them.
I'll search.
Absolutely. Have you raced against either of these guys, Logan?
I did race against, well, no, I didn't race against Matt Clark in karts, but we live near each other, so I see him race go-karts a lot back in Canada.
Got it. Good battle just behind as Noel Leon has moved up a spot as he is now right on the back of the number 5 of Matt Christensen as Rodrigo Gutierrez shuffled back a couple positions. So Leon now the points leader looking to get himself up into contention for a podium spot.
Looks like we got ourselves a car off high-centered. We're probably going to have a full course yellow to get that guy situated.
Yeah, sadly that looks to be the case as we've got a car off at the exit of turn 6.
Sure enough, safety car is out.
Just checking, I'll get my spyglass on it. That is the number 17, sadly, of Maxwell Jameson, one of our new drivers here this weekend. He, along with Bryson Morris, making their first start with us, but Maxwell had an off-course excursion. He's off driver's left at the exit of, or driver's right, excuse me, at the exit of turn number 6, sitting about a 45-degree angle to the racetrack, and it looks like the car is high-centered on the FIA curbing, so hopefully a little boost from the safety car or safety truck, which has already arrived on the scene, will get him back on the pavement, and assuming there's no damage, he should be able to catch up to the back of the pack.
John, it gives me an opportunity to ask Logan a question that I've been wanting to know, because we're now starting to really see, no joking aside, what Canada has to offer. We've seen what Jacques Villeneuve and several others, Lance Stroll and Lawrence Stroll, obviously in Formula One, but, you know, the youth coming through, we're now starting to see numbers. And this FR and F4 FIA championship has really given you guys a real opportunity, hasn't it?
It really has. Back home with all the karting, you see this has probably been some of the best years for karting the past 5. So I'm seeing all the talent that I've been watch race come up into cars, and that was a save and a half.
That was great.
That takes a lot of focus. That takes a lot of focus to stay calm while you're backwards.
He could have won the Olympics for that one. 3.5 degree of difficulty on the spin.
Yeah.
Simona would have been happy with that one.
Looks like Bryson Morris, maybe. That's someone that I'm a little disappointed to see in 10th. He had a bit of a rough start. He was a rocket ship yesterday for being some of his first time in a Formula car. That's ridiculous how fast he was. So hopefully this restart gives him a chance to catch back up, maybe gain some more spots so we can gain his speed again, because that was one drive yesterday.
What's the track like as a racetrack?
This is actually, I'd say this is a track almost built for F4.
There you go.
This is a wide track, and I mean, we know that these cars like to go 2, 3, maybe even sometimes 4 wide. I think, it's very nail-biting to see them do that, but if there's ever a track for them to do it, it would be Brainerd Motorsports, because it is wide out there. It's got a very good surface on it, though. I will say, it's a very good track.
I was talking to a couple of drivers saying how grippy it was. They were surprised, actually, because it doesn't get used that much.
Lights are out on the safety car, so we are going to get a restart. Just a quick rundown. Matt Clark, your leader. Nico Christodoulou in second. Matt Christensen in third. Points leader Noel Leon in fourth. Hayden Bowlesby in fifth. Rodrigo Gutierrez sixth. Bijoy Garge in seventh. Gabriel Fonseca, Justin Arsenault, and Bryson Morris round out the top 10. Bryson, after going wide at turn 5, was able to slot back into 10th position. The way he raced yesterday, look for him to move up as the cars are working their way out of the Cloverleaf turn and coming into our view here in our commentary position, overlooking the start-finish straightaway. Everybody's doing a good job of staying lined up. And Matt Clark puts his foot down. Let's see if Nico Christodoulou has anything for him. Noel Leon all over the back of Matt Christensen as they head down to turn number 12. Christensen right in the middle of the road, keeps Leon behind him. And just behind them, Hayden Bowlesby and Rodrigo Gutierrez going after it for 5th and 6th.
One of the Jay Howard cars went wide.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the Jay Howard cars went wide on the exit of 12.
It might have been Matt Christensen. That's opened the door for Noel Leon to try to get a run on him. But Hayden Bowlesby with the red and black car, the 71, just behind him of Rodrigo Gutierrez, the Bolivian. And then right behind them is Bijoy Garge, who got shuffled back. Remember, Bijoy was up to 3rd at one point. So Bijoy is anxious to get moving. There goes Noel Leon down to the inside. Matt Clark and Christodoulou side by side. This battle for 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd and 4th, should we say. Right at the moment, Leon has gotten it done as he was able to move up into that position at the expense of Matt Christensen. Right behind them is Rodrigo Gutierrez as they work their way through turn 5 now.
Christodoulou is getting so impatient. Look at him, side by side now with Matt Clark.
Indeed, coming down into turn number 5. He's still side by side. As they exit turn number 5, Clark will have the inside line at 7.
Oh, no.
Oh, we got ourselves a car off.
Got a couple cars dropping a wheel off, but I think everybody's good. I think everybody was able to continue, but a big cloud of dust there.
Can you talk me through that, Logan? How do you do that and not lose a spot?
A lot of clenching and a lot of focus.
Exactly right. That's a Nomex moment, as they call it. Yeah, exactly right. As Matt Clark has been able to stretch his lead just a bit over Nico Christodoulou with the 19 of Noel Leon, the points leader right behind him. Look at Rodrigo Gutierrez. I think his stint in the commentary box has given him a little extra motivation because he is right on top of it there, looking to get himself up onto a potential podium spot.
Nico Christodoulou didn't let that phase him. He's right back on the gearbox of Matt Clark. That's impressive.
Here comes Bijoy Garge going side by side with Hayden Bowlesby. That's the battle for 6th position. Garge in the black car on the outside. Bowlesby in the blue and red car just to his inside. And right behind them is Bryson Morris coming back from that off-course excursion on the first couple of laps. They're 3 wide into turn 3. Matt Christensen retakes that spot over Noel Leon with Rodrigo Gutierrez right there. Leon goes left, then right, back to the right. Gutierrez trying to decide who he's going to follow as Matt Clark barely inches out the lead in front of Nico Christodoulou as they exit turn 5.
Well, there's no question there's some good trust between these two Canadians. They are racing each other so close at the moment, and neither one wants to give an inch.
Back to our battle for the lead as they work their way out of turn 6 through that little kink in turn 7. We were talking yesterday, this cloverleaf turn is pretty much a one-line turn. If you get anywhere to the outside and there's so much marbles built up, off you go, right?
Yeah, I mean, in the FR, there's actually 2 lines. You can go tight if you want with the downforce. I think it helps keep the car stuck. But in F4, you have no choice but to stay in that one line. It is a difficult corner.
Across the line they come to complete race lap number 6. Clark and Christodoulou. Here comes Gutierrez looking for another spot. Garge finally gets it done as he's able to get around Hayden Bowlesby. Bowlesby now being challenged by Bryson Morris. Justin Arsenault in 9th just set the fast lap of the race in the iCar Canada job. So moving on to Christensen, who's now got just a little bit of breathing room in that 3rd spot as Noel Leon is coming under some serious pressure from Rodrigo Gutierrez and Bijoy Garge. So Leon dropping off that 3rd place battle just a bit. Christensen running by himself as Gutierrez and Garge try to go 3 wide there behind them. The battle at the front just as good.
Oh, no!
Touch. Matt Clark
Worst
off in a
possible.
cloud of dust. Nico Christodoulou able to continue. He was off track as well, I think.
Well, we don't have a steward here, but we do have a driver. What was your take on that? Whose fault was that?
It was hard to see, honestly. I mean, Matt Clark.
Good answer. But
Yeah.
no, that wasn't what I was looking for.
What that means is Matt Christensen is the leader of this motor
Wow.
race. As both Matt Clark and Nico Christodoulou racing close but fair, I would call it, got off track. Here comes Mac. He's able to rejoin. I don't know whether Nico was able to do that as well. You can see Mac's car slowly rolling. That
All
was
right, well, let's get a replay. And Logan, we called it while it was live, or John did. What do you see here?
Well, side by side, Nico Christodoulou on the outside. You know what? It looked like Nico just got a little bit too close,
Yeah.
or maybe there was a little
Touch
bit of
wheels.
wiggle on Mac's car.
Yeah.
And it looks like their wheels kind of connected there, and I think it was actually a racing incident. I think it was just maybe Mac tried to go a little too quick, a little too tight, and just wiggled a little bit
We'll
out
see if
into
Scott
Nico.
Goodyear agrees.
We'll see.
It looked to me like they interlocked wheels
Yeah.
and the front.
If I had to
the
put
front wheel
blame, I
rear
would
wheel.
say Nico, because he was behind and pushing.
Yeah.
And basically, he was the reason. Matt was on his line, and yes, trying to get the corner. But, whoa, and another off here. That was the guy that went off earlier. But just right in front of us there. That's why I noticed it.
Bijoy Garge finally got his way around. Noel Leon must have an issue because he has been falling back, which we are not accustomed to seeing. He was in 3rd. He's now all the way back behind Bryson Morris, I think. Oh, we've got another spin there at turn 5, or that's turn 4, excuse me. A car spinning off and into the gravel. And that was our leader. That was
I can't believe it.
Matt Christensen.
Bryson Morris is eating this up. He's up in 2nd place now.
I believe, yeah. Rodrigo
What a comeback drive.
Gutierrez
Yeah.
up into the front, and now Bryson Morris in 2nd. Yeah, there he is, and there's Noel Leon. Then the 22 of Christodoulou recovering from his off. And then that's Hayden Bowlesby just behind them. So nobody wants to win this race, apparently. A lot of people want to spin off. This is crazy.
Exciting to see what the lineup is as they come across the line.
Yeah, exactly. We'll sort it out here as they come across. It is Gutierrez at the front, Bryson Morris in 2nd, Noel Leon the points leader in 3rd, Christodoulou 4th, Hayden Bowlesby 5th, side by side with Bijoy Garge in 6th, Victor Anderson up to 7th, Lucas Mann looking for his best finish on the season, as is Artie Flores with Justin Arsenault in the 10th spot.
Wow, what a drama-full race.
Here comes Christodoulou recovering as he is side by side with Noel Leon. That's for 3rd place, and Christodoulou gets it done. Leon going to try to answer back, bringing Hayden Bowlesby with him. That's the battle for 3rd as Gutierrez and Morris getting away at the front, and they are side by side. Here comes Bryson Morris. This is his first weekend of F4 racing.
Unbelievable.
Going the long way around the outside.
And makes it
Rodrigo
stick.
Gutierrez,
Amazing.
and he's in the lead, ladies and gentlemen.
Fantastic.
What a great overtake.
Man alive, that is a great job for Bryson Morris, and he is at the front. He finished on the podium in his first, full-length race, the first race of the weekend. Unfortunately, no points were scored, but Bryson finished on the podium yesterday in a great drive. after starting, I think, in 5th place, but now he is at the front. He's had a little help, but there's going to be some hungry drivers right behind him. Bijoy Garge in the number 6 car, currently running in that 6th spot, right behind now Noel Leon, again, who is going inside Hayden Bowlesby to try to retake that position that he just lost, and he's gotten it done. Bowlesby drops a wheel off there at turn 9 as they come onto the front straightaway. Nico Christodoulou in 3rd and challenging Gutierrez for 2nd as they hit turn 12. There's Leon, there's Bowlesby, that's 4th and 5th. Bijoy Garge right behind Bowlesby in the 6th spot, and then Lucas Mann in that Momentum Motorsports machine, looking for his best finish on the season, up in 7th spot.
And Bryson Morris is almost making it look easy, although I'm glad to see Nico Christodoulou is still in the fight here.
This is turning out to be an important race for Christodoulou because he's had a good weekend. He had a big moment there. That could have all been curtains, and he's still in the hunt, and he's still ahead of the championship leader.
Yeah, and Matt Clark, well down the order in 20th position right now, is going to be kicking himself because he had closed to within 8.5 points of Noel Leon in my unofficial point standings. We've got a couple races that are still provisional, but he had closed to within 8.5 points of Noel Leon, and with that off, and again, probably whether it's Nico's fault, Max's fault, we'll have to determine that. But nonetheless, he is not going to score good points in this race, and that's going to hurt his championship challenge.
Got another good story for you. Coming up to 12th now, just outside of the points at the moment, Jason Older. And that is good news for him because if he can get in the points, he can save what has been a rotten start for him at this one.
Yeah, he had to start from the pit lane because of the collision yesterday. So that's a great recovery drive for Jason, all the way up into 12th position. Here come the leaders, and it is Bryson Morris. Christodoulou now in 2nd spot. He has set the fastest lap of the race. Rodrigo Gutierrez in 3rd, looking for his best finish on the season, perhaps. Noel Leon holding on to 4th spot. He and Hayden Bowlesby have been swapping that back and forth. Bowlesby back in front of him now as Leon is on in the gravel trap. That must be at turn 12, I think.
And that's a huge mistake from the championship leader who's had it all one-way traffic, and now suddenly he's beached it.
And look whose hand this is playing into.
Yeah.
Nico Christodoulou. As Matt Clark and Noel Leon, the 2 drivers in front of him in the championship, suddenly with trouble. Christodoulou's in a position, he can't take over the lead in the championship, but he can certainly get it a whole lot closer.
This is definitely a comfy race for Nico Christodoulou.
Yeah, the 36 of Justin Arsenault having a great run. Arsenault working on Lucas Mann. Arsenault having a great run. He and his teammate both. Lucas St. Jean having a good weekend here.
Jason Older up to 10th. He's in the points. This is going to really get interesting the way this is going.
Yep. Everybody will pack up behind the safety car as they're going to have to get a tow truck out there to recover Noel Leon's car. So let's catch our breath and
while you do, I'm going to bring the current F4 champion in because I'm sure he wants a quick word. Come on in, Hunter. What do you think of this?
So far it's been a pretty interesting race. It's definitely been a little different with multiple leaders going off the track.
Hunter Yaney joins us here in the commentary box. He and Logan Cuson both battling it out for honors in the Formula Regional Americas Championship. But between races here, have an opportunity to stay with us in the commentary box. It's great to have you guys along. Bryson Morris leading this race on his first race weekend. You know Bryson, Logan. What do you think?
Well, he's doing a great job. Honestly, I'm super impressed. It's ridiculous that he can just show up and put it fast like this. I mean, that is, some drivers think, oh, this should be easy. I'll show up. I'll put it on the podium, and that is usually a big wake-up call when they get here. But he's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
He's doing really well in the Lucas Oil Series, which is basically an F1600 car. No wings, whatever. So this is probably his first car with wings and slicks. It's quite a challenge as we've got Matt Christensen. No, that's
Seth
the 4
Foley.
car in for a problem. That's Seth Foley from J. Howard Driver Development. As they're checking the nose on that car to see if there's some damage. So Seth Foley, unfortunately, back in 23rd position right now.
Yeah, that's a hard incident. I mean, having no front wing, even on these cars, it does do a little bit. You are going to get a massive push from that, and that thing was just hanging on by a thread. It had 2 bolts left and no spacers. So,
Yeah.
lucky to get the wing back at least.
Yeah, exactly right. Bryson Morris, your leader. Nico Christodoulou will be licking his chops on this restart to try to get back to the front and score maximum points here. Rodrigo Gutierrez having a fantastic run here. Rodrigo's best finish so far this season was a third in the final round at Mid-Ohio, so he's in a position to match that and perhaps do better. Hayden Bowlesby also on the way to perhaps his best finish. It will definitely be his best finish of the season, as so far Hayden has done no better than fourth. So yeah, he's right matching his best finish on the season. Lucas Mann in the 74 car has yet to score a point in the championship this season. He is running fifth right now. So Lucas Mann for Momentum Motorsports, another Canadian driver out of Oakville, looking to have a good run. Justin Arsenault, the iCar Canada number 36, running in sixth. Artie Flores, the Ganella Racing Mexican from Leon, Mexico, in the 23, running in the seventh spot. Bijoy Garge has kind of been up and down, running as high as third at one point, but then fell back to seventh, recovered back to fourth, and got dropped right back down again into eighth position. Behind him, Jason Alder, the recovery drive of the day. Jason starting from the pit lane after that incident in yesterday's race, already in the points, up into ninth position. So tip of the hat to Jason. He's still got 8 minutes to get a little further up the order. And Lucas St. Jean, the second driver from the iCar Canada racing team from Lorraine, Quebec, up into the final points-paying position in 10th. So that's your top 10 running order as they run right now. With about 7.5 minutes remaining, we're going to go around at least one more time as they are recovering the car of Noel Leon from the gravel trap. But once that work is completed, hopefully we'll be able to get a restart this time by.
That is a very good drive for Jason Alder coming from the pits. I mean, especially with these young drivers, racing is very much a mental game, and it is very easy to get demoralized very early when you're starting from the pit lane. So for him to keep his head down and just drive his car and go as fast as he can, that's good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great drive. And you know, Jason would be in a position to be disappointed because he started the season off so strongly. Back-to-back wins in the first two rounds and a second at Atlanta. He was the runaway points leader as we left the first racing venue. But then the wheels came off, literally and figuratively, at Road America. He only had one podium finish at Road America, and he hasn't been in the points yet here. So Jason, you know, could easily get discouraged, but obviously he's showing that he's got something to prove here, and he's doing a great job. Hunter, you had an eventful race in the Formula Regional race that we just concluded. There was some suspension damage. Are they going to be able to get it fixed for this afternoon's round 3?
Yep, it's already fixed and ready to go.
Oh, already done. Great, fantastic. So the Velocity crew is on the job. 6.5 minutes remaining in the race as the safety car under the tutelage of James Rogerson, our safety car driver. James, one of the principals at Motorsports Ranch down in Houston, MSR Houston, and he has been our safety car driver for a number of years, does a great job at it, and hopefully he'll get information from race control that it's time to click the lights off this time, and we'll go back to racing with about 5 minutes to go, maybe a little less.
I will say I'm glad I was up here for this one. A lot of drama, but they've been doing a really good job for the most part of getting their cars back on the track and keeping the race going.
Yeah.
So this is actually a pretty good showing for the F4 cars. I'm very happy with how they're driving out there.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, we had a pretty eventful first race of the weekend, and only completed 2 laps under green, and for that reason, no points will be awarded for that first race. But the race yesterday was a dandy. We had 3 wide racing at the front, you know, pretty much the entire race, and it was an all-Canadian podium. So you know, it was a great race yesterday. Lots of good heads-up, close racing from these drivers, and they're backing it up today with the same kind of thing. We've had a couple cars go off course, but you know, nobody colliding with one another, save the incident that took out Mac Clark and Nico Christodoulou. But Nico came out of it pretty much unscathed. Mac, unfortunately, still down the order. But this restart will give him an opportunity to move up. If he's able to run as quickly as he has been, he can pick up some spots. He might just get himself up into the points before we're all done. The safety car is pulled in. The leader's coming onto the pit straightaway. Bryson Morris can accelerate anytime now, and he has done so. Christodoulou right on his gearbox, pops out just as they cross the finish line, and they come down now into turn number 12. Christodoulou on the outside. Gutierrez and Hayden Bowlesby going after it with the 36 just behind him of Justin Arsenault.
Looks like we had a big incident in corner 12 over here.
See a big cloud of dust there, turn number 12. We'll see if they've been able to continue. One of them is the number 1 of Oscar Haffar. Oscar off in the gravel trap. That's where they just extracted Noel Leon. We're staying green at the moment with 3.5 minutes remaining. It is still the 39 at the front of Bryson Morris. Hayden Bowlesby holding off the challenge from Justin Arsenault in the 36. Arsenault looking for his best finish on the season.
Looks like they're bringing out the full course yellow right now.
Yeah, and this unfortunately will be the end of it. As with only 3.5 minutes left, we will have to finish this one behind the safety car. But that's good news for young Bryson Morris on debut this weekend. He gets a podium spot, finishing 3rd in yesterday's race, and gets to the front in this one, finishing on top of the box. Started in 4th position outside of row number 2 and brings that car to the forefront. Nico Christodoulou, I'm sure, kicking himself for that contact he had with Matt Clark. Of course, the stewards will review and determine if any penalties are to be assessed. A time penalty could potentially be assessed if they deem that Nico was at fault, but that's for people higher up on the food chain to make that decision, not for us. As they come across the line, the white flag being shown, indicating that we will see the checkers next time by, sadly, behind the safety car. So let's run the order for you. It is Bryson Morris, your winner. Nico Christodoulou will be awarded 2nd place honors. Rodrigo Gutierrez, what a fantastic job for him on the podium for the 2nd time this season. In 3rd spot, Hayden Bowlesby matching his best ever finish in 4th. Justin Arsenault with his best finish on the season, I believe. Just checking, no, he had a 2nd at Mid-Ohio, so Justin will finish in 5th. Lucas Mann, definitely his best for his first points bank finish. He'll come home in 6th. Artie Flores in the 23 car, same situation. Arturo has yet to score a point, so that'll be his best finish of the season. In 7th spot, Jason Alder ends up in 8th at the flag.
What could have been, huh?
Yeah,
he got one 9th spot at the restart.
Yeah, and Lucas St. John in 10th. But yeah, tip of the hat to Jason. That's a great recovery drive.
Well, as far as I could see, Bryson Morris had himself a pretty clean drive. So, you know, to show up and win a race, I mean, that's the kind of stuff you see in movies. That's I'm still a little shaken by how fast this guy is just showing up. So good on him. He earned it. Little heartbroken for Matt Clark. He is a talented driver, and you know what? I checked right after he went off. He did a full lap, and then he put it fastest on the track, just showing how much talent he's got. So, you know, disappointing to see him in 19th.
Yes. I think he's probably the only one who isn't surprised, because he kind of looks like the guy that got here and realized that he is good enough. He's got all the, you know, rap sheet, as it were. He's done all the karting that any man can do, and he's doing the Lucas Formula Series. I don't know how well he's doing in that, but I'll tell you what, he's certainly made a name for himself here.
I mean, everyone's talking about him.
Yep.
I mean,
and that's all you want.
Exactly.
Hearing from race control that James is going to bring the field down the pit lane to see the checkered flag. So that's my cue to head down to Victory Circle. So, Jonathan, we'll let you do the recap.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And a quick word lastly from Logan. Logan, what about your weekend? I mean, it's been up and down, but you're still there? You're still in the hunt?
I'm still in the hunt. Really fast in race 1. Just had a mysterious car gremlin. Oh, the entire car went dark on me. So
just stopped.
Just stopped. Yeah, all electronics had shut off. So it was really disappointing to, you know, work my little tail off to get up there. But
the FR cars, though, from what I can gather, are just a little bit more sensitive than the F4.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more heat being generated.
Yeah.
A lot more shaking with how fast we're going. So, you know, this stuff happens. And it wasn't anything that the team could have prevented. It was absolutely 100% a gremlin. So, race 2 went okay, and we're hunting for race 3. We've got to fix some driving. And
where do you start for race 3?
I believe 6th place.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll expect a podium then.
Absolutely. I'll deliver.
Kiwi Motorsport get the round of applause. They're happy. All thumbs up from them. And Well, they might be, because that is a brilliant way. They spotted him as a carter back when, as it were, and just like they've done in so many other instances, whether it be Jose Blanco or Josh Carr, they've brought them into the Crosslink family, and they have performed really, really well. So well done to Bryson Morris. My thanks also to Logan Cuson. He'll be in action in about an hour's time, so we'll see him then. Let's take a look at the highlights then of our F4 action for their third race of the day. Started off with two Canadians at the front. Mac the Knife, Matt Clark leading the way, but he was under pressure. And then people were pirouetting quite brilliantly and going every which way. Several drivers involved in several incidents, but at the front, the incident was all about the 22 and the 26. Off went Christodoulou, somehow doing some lawn mowing and still holding his place. How do you do it? I don't know. But then they went wheel to wheel, and then they really went wheel to wheel because they touched. I think Christodoulou's fault, but that's a steward's inquiry. Then off went another leader, another pirouette. Boy, do they like running in circles here. But another safety car comes out, and that allowed Bryson Morris to come right to the very front. And the new boy, the new kid on the block, does it in style and wins for Crosslink Kiwi yet again. And as you can see, the car's already in Parc Fermé, and our winner, spoke to him at the beginning of the race, and he was quietly confident then, just 16 years of age. The man from Tennessee. And what a great way to start your campaign. Future's looking bright. Gets a quick high five and a handshake from his fellow competitors. And the team, as you'd imagine, congratulating, including team manager Tina Larson. But that is a great way to make your debut. You can't make a team happier than that. And he's going to remember this day for a long, long time. Well done to him. And in a moment, he'll have John Phippen to deal with. Off comes the helmet. But remember the name. Bryson Morris. Just a kid. But now the new kid on the block. No question about it. Great race. Sure, opportunity comes in when others go off. But you've got to be there to take that opportunity. That's what motor racing's all about. He lets the hair flocks hang out. Gets the hat on, and he's ready to go to the interview. Let's head down to John Phippen, who I'm sure will be ready to talk to him.
We're here with the phenom of the weekend, Bryson Morris, in his first weekend in F4 US competition, taking a third place yesterday, top of the box today. Bryson, what a fantastic drive.
Yeah, thank you so much. Had a bit of an issue at the start where I messed up the start box. I thought the end cones were the start cones, so I got left behind. I was down to like 10th or something. I just kept my head down, started making good passes, and luckily I was able to hold him off.
Some great battling going on early in the race, and then Nico and Mac went off, and I won't say you inherited the lead, but a well-earned lead taken over after you battling so much with Noel and the others just behind.
Yeah, it was a tough race. That I did be kind of fortunate from what happened up front, but you know, it was a tough race having to climb back up from 10th.
Take nothing away. What a great job on debut, ladies and gentlemen. Bryson Morris. Johnny, a future star in the making.